I've looked up multiple timelines, and here's the basic consensus. And look for my source in the credits. Like I was saying in previous videos, there are a few things that bother me in the series. For instance, Tina being the age she was, but then raising Jason. Did he drift or something? Tommy sunk him in front of Camp Forest Green or whatever, then poof, he's in front of the house. Magic. Another thing that boils my blood is that in 5 it's Crystal Lake. Then in 6 they change it. Fine. And then they go back to Crystal Lake for part 7. Who dropped the ball there? In part 5, it is said that Jason is cremated. That's funny. Let's check out the opening scene in part 6. Well, this is all stuff you already know. I'm just venting. Also, at the end of part 6, Jason is just bobbing under the water. Was everyone fine with that? I mean, the authorities and such sat down and decided to leave well enough alone? But back to the timeline. 1957, that's when Jason drowned, so that's a good starting point, I suppose. In 1958, 2 counselors were murdered at the camp, giving it its name, Camp Blood. According to the calendar, 1979 is the actual start year for the movie. What a geeky video I'm making. Anyway, 1979 in spite of the release being in 1980. Also, in the second, there was mention that there were fires in 1962 when the camp was attempted to be reopened. Alice is killed a couple months after the original, still making it in 1979, and proving that Jason can hold a grudge. We get back on track, sorta, in a flashback which occurred in 1983, while the movie was released and takes place in 1984. Yeah, you got that? Parts 2, 3, and 4 all take place in 1984, which makes perfect sense and gels well, other than it being released over the span of a few years, but it works. What, Friday films can't be credible sometimes? 1989 is supposedly when Tina goes off to the hospital for killing her dad, and now we start to get a little off the map. 1992 is supposedly when Tommy goes to the clinic in part 5, which makes sense in terms of his appearance, but still throws me off. I apologize. Somewhere between 1992 and 1997, they must have changed the name from Camp Crystal Lake to Camp Forest Green, mentioned in part 6 as well. So part 6 happens, and I suppose it's supposed to be around 1997. Are you kidding me? This is 1986. Motley Crue is still banging. Alice Cooper did your soundtrack. Anyway, 1999 is apparently when part 7 and Manhattan occur. Although, I've read this, and I don't know how they came to this conclusion. I wonder why they can't just keep this guy in the forest and come out on Friday. It doesn't even have to be the 13th either. I'm fine with any Friday. It's a simple story, really. Jason Goes to Hell apparently happens in the year 2000, but who even cares? And Jason Goes to Space? What year was that? I don't even care how out of hand that is. Stay on Earth too, and just revamp the series. So, what to make of all this? Nothing. Sometimes the series just gets out of control, and it's because they're just trying to keep things fresh. Sometimes it gets a little over the top, and I question if they put their best foot forward in making the film, or is just thrown together to put you in the theater. I love the atmosphere and, of course, the plethora of doomed teens. Take your pick from the series. It may be flawed in time, but it gave me some good memories. HMRG, out.
Did you hear that?